Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we take different sources, unpack them, and basically give you the key takeaways fast.
Yeah, a shortcut to getting up to speed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And today, we're thinking about you, our learner, someone who loves grasping things quickly, getting those aha moments, but, without getting totally buried in information.
Right. And the topic today is product design.
We're diving into an intro audio resource. It's a PDF script, actually. Product Design Mactree Intro Script.pdf.
And specifically, it's their first episode called Start Here, Why This Podcast Will Transform How You Think About Product Design.
Okay, so our mission, pretty simple. Pull out the core message. What's the main promise of this product design intro?
Let's get into it.
So right off the bat, this intro tackles a really common idea about product design.
The visual stuff.
Yeah, that it's all about, how things look, screens, colors, working in Figma, that kind of thing.
But they push back on that immediately. Pretty strongly, actually.
They do.
The source says, nope, that's not the core. Fundamentally, product design, it's about people.
People. Okay. That feels like a big shift from just, aesthetics.
It is. It suggests something more strategic, more user-focused, which, probably leads to better products in the end.
So if it's not just visuals, what is it then, according to them?
Well, they define it as the process of solving problems, like actively solving them.
Okay.
And really understanding user behaviors. And then, this is important, balancing what users need with what the business needs, the business goals.
Right, that balancing act. And they make a point that traditional design teaching maybe misses this bigger picture.
Yeah, they suggest it's often overlooked. You might learn the tools, maybe some theory, but not this fundamental problem-solving balancing aspect.
So, a less holistic view might just focus on making a cool-looking interface, or just doing what a manager asks for.
Exactly, without asking why or digging into the user's real problem or how it fits the business strategy. This definition ties it all together: user empathy, business sense, the whole package.
Got it. So who's behind this view, this intro source?
It's from a group called Forza Team.
Forza Team, okay.
They say they're a design studio. They do UI, user interface, how things look and work, and UX, user experience, how it feels to use something.
Yeah.
And motion design, too, like animations. They mention working with startups, bigger companies, different industries.
So they've been in the trenches building stuff.
Seems like it. And that experience seems to be why they started this podcast they're introducing.
Right, which begs the question, why another design podcast? What's their angle?
They're pretty clear about it. They want to share the messy reality, the nonlinear path of actual product design.
Not just the polished version you see in case studies.
Exactly. The stuff courses don't usually cover. They want to show what really matters day to day. It's like pulling back the curtain,
And who's this for? Who are they talking to?
Seems like designers, obviously, who want to go a bit deeper, but also developers may be curious about why designs are the way they are.
Okay, the logic behind it.
Yeah. And PMs, product managers who want to understand the thinking that shapes the product decisions from the design side.
So bridging gaps between those roles, that makes sense.
And reading between the lines, there's a bit of a critique here of other learning materials.
How so?
They suggest a lot of tutorials are maybe too focused on just learning a specific software tool.
Like how to use Figma, but not why.
Right. Or they're obsessed with the latest visual trends, or they show UI examples without the context.
Okay.
Their big point is great design doesn't start when you open the software. It starts way earlier.
With understanding the user.
And the problem you're trying to solve for them.
But hang on, don't you need tool tutorials? Especially when you're starting out? You have to learn the tool somehow.
That's a fair point, yeah. I don't think they're saying tools are unimportant. It's more about the priority. Like, understand the why the user, the problem, before you dive deep into the how with the tools. Get the foundation right first.
Gotcha. That makes more sense. It's about sequence and focus.
Exactly. And they even list some common problems they see. Pitfalls.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Things like teams just not getting their users, building stuff people don't actually need.
Okay. Yeah, that happens.
Or feature creep. Just adding more and more features without a clear reason.
Endless features.
Endless redesigns that go nowhere. And those difficult handoffs between design and development teams.
The handoff problem, yeah.
So those are the problems. What's the solution they're offering in their podcast?
They talk about emphasizing clarity, good systems, and sharp thinking.
Sharp thinking, I like that.
Yeah, it sounds like being more strategic, less just reacting to things.
Okay, so how is this podcast structured? Is it just random chats?
No, they actually frame it as a complete course.
Of course. Wow.
Yeah, over 40 episodes, they say. And audio first.
40 episodes is a lot. What ground do they cover?
It's pretty comprehensive. They list things like user research that gives you stuff you can actually use,
Actionable insights.
turning those insights into a real product strategy. Frameworks for coming up with ideas, not just random brainstorming.
Okay.
Then the core UX and UI principles, how to make things work well and feel right for users.
What else?
They mentioned writing microcopy. Yeah, the little bits of text in an interface.
Mm-hmm.
Content structure.
Oh, interesting. Copy matters.
Prototyping and testing efficiently. Collaborating, which we talked about, developers, PMs, stakeholders,
Yeah, that's crucial.
and building design systems that can grow with the product. Scalable systems.
That is a comprehensive list. It really does sound like a course.
And the audio first part is really emphasized. They say explicitly, no visuals needed.
Not just audio.
Yeah, the idea is to focus purely on the decision-making logic, the stuff you can apply in sprints or put in your portfolio thinking.
That's interesting. Learning design principles without seeing them. How does that work?
Well, it's definitely a specific take. I guess the idea is to force you to focus on the concepts, the reasoning.
Stripping away the visuals might make you engage with the core logic more deeply. Less distraction from shiny interfaces.
Maybe that's the idea.
Yeah.
Focusing on the why that works, regardless of the specific visual style.
Interesting approach. How do they suggest people use it?
Two ways, basically. You can follow along episode by episode, like a course.
Start to finish?
Or, if you've got a specific problem or interest, you can just jump into that topic's episode. They say each one is designed to stand alone.
Flexible. Okay.
And they also mention bonus stuff.
Oh, like what?
Templates and episode recaps shared via Notion. They point you to the show notes for links.
So trying to build a community and offer practical extras?
Seems like it. Trying to make it more than just listening.
And then the call to action?
Yep, the standard stuff. Subscribe, follow, share it with people interested in product design. Their goal, they state, is to be the most practical and honest product design podcast out there.
Ambitious, practical, and honest.
And they give a little taste of what's next.
A teaser.
Yeah, the next episode is apparently going to define product design properly and explore why it gets misunderstood so often.
So building directly on this intro. Makes sense.
So wrapping up our deep dive on this intro, what are the big takeaways?
Well, the biggest one, I think, is that core message. Product design isn't just pixels.
Right. It's fundamentally about understanding people and solving their problems.
That really challenges the surface level view.
And for you, our learner, this intro gives a really clear, quick map of what this resource offers.
Yeah, it outlines the value prop, understanding product design more deeply, focusing on the strategic, user-centric side.
Without hitting you with tons of jargon right away.
Exactly. It sets up that structured, course-like approach and the focus on thinking, which should deliver those aha moments you appreciate. It reframes the whole field around that core idea. People and problems first.
So here's something to chew on. If we really take that idea seriously, shifting focus from tools and visuals to deeply understanding user needs first, how could that change how we solve problems? Not just in product design, but, in other areas too.
Where else is deep user understanding the real key, even if we don't always start there?
It makes you think about where innovation truly begins, doesn't it?